Hi everybody! In today's video I'm going to be showing how to make a live edge keychain. This is a quick and easy project that's a lot of fun. You can do it with or without power tools, and in my case I use wood burning tools, but you can also just leave it plain for a nice rustic finish. So if you're ready, let's get into it! The first step to making live edge keychains is to start by making small wood circles. I started out by using this double-edged pull saw or Ryoba saw. I wanted to demonstrate how to do this project without a table saw. I got it for shortening the legs of a stool. I went into more detail in that video on how to use it, and I'll link it in the description. But feel free to use any type of handsaw that you have. I'm swapping to the table saw because I have a lot to do, but you can carry on with handsaw if that's what makes you comfortable. Miter saw works great too. Don't forget your safety equipment. Then I smoothed them out on the table sander. If you enjoy having fingerprints, a safer option would be to put the ornament into a vise and use either a detail sander or a belt sander. For this project, I'm using a fallen maple branch that came off our tree a few years ago, and last year's Christmas tree. I'll also link my video on how I save my Christmas trees in the description. Once they're nice and smooth, I'll move on to applying the hardware for the keychains. I pick a drill bit slightly smaller than the eye screw. Then I take some time figuring out how the keychain feels best in my hand, before deciding where to drill the hole. Using the vise helps to keep everything steady, and it keeps my hands free and safe. Once I'm done with the hole, I screw it in by hand until it's nice and snug. In my case, I'm making many keychains, so I repeat the process. If you're only making one, this will be your final step before you move on to burning. This is what it should look like when you're done. Then I sketch out my designs in a soft pencil. I used 4B. This gives me something to follow with the wood burning tool. I use these fallen maple leaves as a reference image to get the leaf as accurate as possible. The theme for these keychains are images that represent Canada. I also do some cartoon moose and some other Canadian symbols. Then I get ready to burn the designs. Here's the nib I chose to use for the lines. I changed to a different tip later for the moose's eyes, since this tip isn't optimized for a round shape. If you don't have wood burning equipment, you can also leave the wood blank. Sanding it to a polish shows off the grain and has a lovely rustic look. I use light pressure, making sure to pull the tool along the wood instead of push. Pushing the tool would cause it to sink in. These are maple keychains. The wood is fine-grained and lovely to work with. The spruce is much more difficult as it has a rougher grain, is sappy, and smokes, and the nib digs in easily. This is a wire nib pyrography pen, which is much better than the solid point pen I've used in previous videos. This pen also heats up and cools down much quicker. It's a bit more delicate than the solid point tool. The nib can bend if you apply too much pressure, and it's important not to use too high heat, because that can cause the nib to bend more easily under pressure. In situations like this, where the wood has a knot or a mark, I try to design the art around the shape on the wood. In this case, I made the discoloration in the center into the nose for my moose. As a quick tip, I find it easier to rotate the wood and keep the pen more or less stationary. And my technique for dealing with the smoke from the spruce is to blow on your work as you go, dispersing the smoke so it doesn't sting your eyes. Now I'm ready to start installing the hardware. It's pretty simple, just loop the connecting link through both the eye hook and the last link of the keychain. Then just pinch it shut with a pair of pliers. The first few keychains can be a bit tricky, but you get into a groove and it gets much easier. I also find it easier to hold everything from the link and let the keychain and hardware dangle from that. If you do it this way, gravity will hold it steady for you and you can focus on your work. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's great if it is, but as long as the link is close, the keychain will be secure. After that, you can sit back and admire your brand new keychain. Don't forget to add your keys. Thanks for watching. Bye!